We're pulling for Zachary, and we'll do our best to keep you updated on his progress after his surgery. On to the next part of our program tonight. If there's one thing we've discovered while working on this fight against obesity, it's that we cannot do it alone. We all must be partners in this battle. Now, there is one group in Mississippi who is taking up the fight against obesity with the word partnership in its very name, and they may just be the answer to the problem. Obesity is clearly Mississippi's big problem today, but it wasn't always enemy number one. Not too long ago, that was tobacco. The state's top cop, Attorney General Mike Moore, played David to Big Tobacco's Goliath and won. One of the results of that epic battle was a Partnership for a Healthy Mississippi. This nonprofit group took on the major task of stopping Mississippians from smoking and keeping kids from ever starting. And while we still have some pretty high adult smoking rates, our childhood and teen rates are some of the best in the nation, largely thanks to the partnership's work. Now the partnership is turning their work to obesity, hoping to use some of the lessons learned fighting tobacco to fight fat. Sandra Shelton is the executive director of the Partnership for a Healthy Mississippi.
We're a nonprofit organization whose mission is to keep children and other folks from using tobacco and to use the lessons we have learned from tobacco prevention to address other public health issues.
The partnership remains focused on tobacco prevention in Mississippi, and the new foray into obesity won't change that. In fact, the new direction works hand in hand. The two problems actually overlap.
There are a lot of similarities between the two epidemics of health problems. The similarities are this. Well, one is the chronic illness cost. You know, this is a poor state, and we have to spend a whole lot of public dollars on tobacco-related illnesses and on obesity-related illnesses. We can sorely afford either one of those, especially with things that can very quickly be turned around, and you can be able to use those funds for education or funding the arts, you know, something like that. There is an industry component. You do have a food industry. You have a fast food industry. You have people who are marketing a particular product, and you know, with the tobacco industry, they were very savvy about how they marketed. With the food industry, you have those issues as well.
Another way the issues overlap: poverty. Where you have poverty, you have obesity. You also seem to have smokers. The partnership helped push through an increase in the price of cigarettes, which helped cut down on smoking in poor areas. Now they're studying a similar move on sweetened drinks, hoping it might have an effect on waistlines. But Sandra says the partnership needs to employ other lessons learned as well.
We know that if you teach to children, if you teach the young kids important lessons about health, they're going to take them home and they're going to teach them to their moms and their dads and their grandparents. We know that works.
Another lesson learned: get down to their level. We're talking about a third grade level.
If you walk in a supermarket, almost invariably at the eye level of a 7 or 8-year-old are going to be your most sugared cereals and cookies and things like that. So we just need to be, as parents, as public health providers, as just concerned citizens, we need to be aware of that sort of thing.
And what about the age-old argument of personal responsibility?
You counter-argue it because there are larger forces at play than just personal responsibility. There is some science that says that a lot of these fast foods could be, the way they're manipulated could be addictive. You've got just the right amount of sugar, fat, and salt that are combined. And then when you're dealing with children, children don't have as much personal responsibility. You know, if they are being fed a diet based on these, you know, these addictive foods, then they don't have the ability to say, I'm not going to eat that. Kids have to eat.
So the Partnership for a Healthy Mississippi is sponsoring several major programs to help our state get healthy, including 2 very exciting and fun programs. One is sponsoring a volunteer from the Food Corps, and the other is the Just Have a Ball program. Former basketball coach Robin Jeffries is in charge of the Just Have a Ball program.
Just Have a Ball is something, it's an awareness program that we take throughout Jackson Public Schools right now to the elementary schools. And what it teaches the kids, or we really want the kids to come out of the awareness program with, is that exercise is just supposed to be fun. Just create fun, get fun back in your life, take it home, have fun with your parents, get out in front of the TV and just take what we have, a concept of a ball or a jump rope or a hula hoop, and spend 10 or 15 minutes and just have fun doing that to create movement.
Today the program is at Lester Elementary School, a school relatively notorious for not allowing many programs in. School Principal Douglas Scott is pretty picky.
All of our schools are really trying to improve our academics, and so I am very selective in anything that I allow to take away from instructional time. Time on task is critically important for student learning, and so we limit outside programs that come in.
I promise to tell somebody. Okay.
So what will the kids be learning? Why is it important?
My message to the kids is that they all have one thing in common. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter anything, that we all have one thing in common, and that is a heart, and that you only have one of them. And you really, really need to take care of that one heart because it needs to be strong, because it makes everything else work. And as we get older, we need to be concerned about where we are with our health with that one heart that we have.
Robin spoke to two different groups that day, two different crowds. But the message is the same. By being active each day, the kids will be healthier and smarter.
Exercise does a lot more than just to lose weight. It affects a lot of things. It makes kids smarter in school. They're able to perform better. They're going to have stronger hearts. They're going to be more physically fit. They're going to get better rest at night. It's going to create a better day for them.
Right now, the Just Have a Ball program is a one-time event for the schools. The partnership comes in with a truckload of balls. Robin does her thing, and the kids walk or dance away happy. But there are plans for much more.
We're working with several elementary schools with implementing what is called Just Have a Ball fitness program. What that does is the kids will actually work with a routine with that ball, with music, with the PE instructor, and throughout the year, by the end of the year, they will have created a routine that involves 20 different movements. Those movements will take 8 minutes to perform.
In the meantime, though, Robin and her team, along with the principals across the city, will continue to hand out their balls.
We've given out over about 15,000 balls.
Whoa. Making lots of principals happy along the way.
This is something that we didn't even have to think about. Now, this is a program that's going to not only provide some awareness to our students, but going to provide balls to the students that they can take home with them and use. And this is a win-win situation for us. It provides something for the students that is going to increase their physical activity, increase their mental capacities, and increase their performance at school. So it's definitely something that's worth the time that we're giving it this afternoon.
Next we go with a Partnership for a Healthy Mississippi to Smith Elementary, where Graham Downey, a Food Corps service member, is working in the garden, along with several dozen of his closest friends.
We are at Smith Elementary School today, and we are just getting into the ground. It's a little late, but it's still, worst case scenario, the plants die and then we teach a different lesson, which is fine.
Graham is a Virginia native and a West Virginia graduate who works with the Food Corps, but who is assigned to the Partnership for Healthy Mississippi. He's assigned to Jackson for 1 year. The partnership is taking advantage of Graham's knowledge and what he'll get started to hopefully get something major moving at Smith Elementary School. If he can stay longer, fantastic. If not, they'll have a great start.
There's 3. He said no,
That is a family. That's perfect.
It's a baby, a dad, and mama.
A baby?
Lucy.
On this visit, the goal is to get the bed started. Smith Elementary is actually the perfect place for a garden, The grounds are huge and open, with beds already there for using. They were made 1 year ago by area churches, but they're in need of some TLC.
They're the primary actors. I mean, they're the primary workers here. I'm just a facilitator, so I show them how to weed. Like, you get down near the dirt and you wiggle it, and I show them here's what a bug looks like, or here's what this weed is, and that sort of thing. Their job is to do all the work. They're figuring this all out. And the point of that is so it's a really experiential learning experience rather than a top-down or language-based experience.
And just what are they learning?
They're supposed to learn about their health. So it's supposed to be connecting them in a really material way by getting in and feeling the dirt and eating the vegetables that'll hopefully grow up. I think they're going to have a real connection to their health and to vegetables, and hopefully we can create some behavior change.
Because there's not a lot of worms. Would you take that over to the compost pile for us? Put that in our freezer. Thank you.
We're going to involve some math and science in this as well, so we can say we planted this many seeds, we have this much yield, what's ratios there, and it's scalable, I think, to levels from K all the way up through high school. And hopefully as this program expands, we can have a more expansive curriculum. And what we're working with the partnership, and especially, is creating a curriculum that meets Mississippi state standards, so that this is something that we can adapt to any school in Mississippi.
It's a sentiment echoed by Claudine Blakey, the assistant principal at Smith Elementary. To her, the educational side of the garden is just as important as the nutritional side.
They can write about what they've seen in the garden. They can write about what they intend to do. They can predict what they think is going to happen. You can incorporate math. There's a lot of different things that can be utilized in just that one classroom venue, if you're really creative enough to do that. And I think that, learning should always be where children are having fun and they're learning and they don't even realize it.
But more than the reading, the writing, and the arithmetic, Graham believes in the connection the children are making with themselves. He sees it every day. He really believes by connecting with the land, the children will make behavior changes that will affect their health.
I mean, look how excited they are. They are so happy to be here, and this is so different than being in the classroom and telling them what to do. This is helping them figure this out, that this is a really cool thing, and that this is something that enhances their lives. And I think that connection is really obvious and really fun.
Winter greens were on the garden menu for this day. Always a hit with the kids, right?
Lettuce, they were not so excited. Cabbage, they were really excited about. Yeah, cabbage, they were just like, yeah, cabbage. And some of the kids were like, I don't like cabbage. Like spinach, they didn't really know what that was. That was really cool to be able to show them the seed pack and be like, this is what we're gonna grow. This is what it's gonna look like. And they definitely light up. In the spring, we're talking with the 4th and 5th graders especially about having little elections and little voting on what they want to grow. So the kids are really going to be participating in choosing the sorts of vegetables and fruits that they want to eat, so that when a tomato comes up, an heirloom tomato or something like that, they can say, I wanted that, I grew that was my choice, look how delicious this is.
I would like for the children to be able to see the whole cycle from the beginning of the seed to the plant to being able to even consume what they've grown, carrots for instance, or lettuce, so that they can see that there is a cycle to the whole, it's not just the dirt out there, or you don't always get it in the cafeteria or in the grocery store.